according to you, what are the different methods that can be employed by the parents to enhance self-expression in children out there?
Thank you again for that, Nikita. I'll just get back to what Dr. Dheeraj just now mentioned. Win-win situation. The Stephen Covey's fourth habit of mind, and that's a great one that we need to practice as well. I'm sure it's not my audio. Should I turn it off again?
It's audible. It's audible.
It's audible, right? So what we do is, I think Nikita, I think you need to mute yourself. Maybe, yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you. See, basically, what happens is in children, they do not know their social emotional learning has right now stagnated. So that means to say, excuse me, that means to say they have not met human beings apart from their parents. And this is the time in their growing up phases, they need to actually meet, fight, love, share, talk, and they have to. I had the students coming back to school because I was a new principal in the pandemic. They wanted to come and see. Imagine a 5-year-old or 6-year-old child who has troubled his parents and has expressed himself, I want to see my new principal, and feel her. I had a parent who did come and say, ma'am, it's okay even if it is a pandemic situation. We've not been able to satisfy our children. They want to feel you, they want to touch you, because the human being should be felt. Otherwise, the only human beings that they are seeing is their parents, and that's a kind of expression. And coming back to what are the other things we've done to for children not to just say, am I audible or visible, the same mantras back again, in a virtual classroom. We say remove a thorn using a thorn itself, right? That's a general thing that we hear all the time. Okay. A poison, again, administered with a poison can become like an anecdote and it can save a person. So is the case. A child who hears from his own peers, it becomes easier. So in a virtual platform as well, we created what is called as cyber marshals. And these cyber marshals were given specific time, which was known only to the coordinating teacher and the student. So they visited every virtual platform and the links were shared. They were supposed to keep a journal, and they were going and administering and advocating children and talking to them how important it is to remain calm so that the learning can happen. And even through educational research, it is proven a retention is maximum to 90%, when there is a group discussion or when they hear it out from their own peers. See, in a general school, when we have Teachers' Day, we sneak out the 2 hours or 3 hours for all the teachers get together and a kind of celebration. But whom are we appointing back again in the classrooms? It is only the senior bhaias and the didis who manage the classroom, right? So you see, when they come back, they have so much to talk about their bhaias and didis, and say that, ma'am, something, this is what bhaiya taught us, or this is what didi taught us. They'll forget what their math teacher taught them or what their English teacher taught them, but they remember getting it from their own senior children. So is the case back at home. They would listen to their older siblings, or older siblings will have some kind of negotiation with the younger ones to take it forward. So I feel this kind of a win-win situation used amongst themselves truly was amazing effect in my school. And also it taught the child who was highly energetic to channelize her energy levels to taking through this process of visiting all the classrooms, maintaining journals, tabulating the result. So I have also tried to impact on her innate abilities of maintaining that kind of tabulation, because tabulation observation is also one of the competencies that they need to learn. This was one positive effect. Then secondly, the parents sometimes becomes, they're nosy sometimes. I'm sorry I'm talking this, but let me tell, even I'm a parent back again. So sometimes, you become nosy and you try to interfere into every aspect of what your child is doing. And now our classrooms are in everybody's house. Earlier, there was at least a barricade, and it used to happen only in the school premises, and any doubt or any kind of things that they would want to voice out, they were coming to schools. Now, our classrooms have opened up in every home. So every parent, every individual at home, including the grandparents, are intruding into our teachers, educators' life. This is the negative aspect of it. If you take it as positive aspect of it, make them responsible. Wow, you have been indulging in your child's or in your grandchild's classes. Why don't you sit beside him and help him out? So try to make that a possibility and be optimistic about it, and it truly functions. This is one thing. And have one-on-one talk with the parents. One-on-one talk with the teacher, parent, and the head of the institution, or a coordinator or a student. A special webinar taken only with the 3 centric people truly makes a change as well. These are the 3 things which I made abundant usage in the last 18 months, and it has truly helped me. Thank you.
According to me, parents should let their child explore in whatever field they wish to. They should not just curtail themselves to only good career opportunities and what. Even if a child has interest in singing or maybe a photography, the parents should let them explore. It should not be, no, sorry, इसमें career नहीं बनेगा, engineering करो, doctory बनो, nothing like that. They should let them explore, and as more and more the child will explore, he'll be able, his expressive abilities will increase, and thereby the personality and identity. And as such, I say that today leaders are born with the ability to express. Leaders like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates are able to, because they have achieved this position because they are able to express themselves. So as per me, parents should let them explore their child. Thank you very much.
How can the schools give the voice to the children? Though there are so many ways that we have already learned from these educators out here, but if you would also want to add upon something.
Yeah, I think schools are anyways doing a fabulous job, and in spite of all the constraints in the pandemic, and now the teachers speak about a hybrid model where some students will be in the class, some will be at home online. So even then, I'm sure teachers and the whole teacher fraternity will make a great effort to enable kids to have their own voice to express themselves. What more can schools do? I would say that schools will need help, because when there are, even throughout the pandemic, there were so many students, and obviously a teacher cannot make every student express themselves, and that too in a challenging environment where the kid is at home. Now with a hybrid model, there will be other challenges, and therefore I would look at partnerships where schools partner with maybe other kinds of organizations or other kinds of bodies that can help them further this process of helping kids, develop their own voice. So for example, our own company Voxbox, while we are in an app format, what we would love doing is partnering with schools and enabling schools to sort of allow kids to maybe express themselves on our app, allow each kid in the class to express themselves separately beyond just the academic environment in which they are in. And I think we are well equipped to do that. I mean, like us, there are many other organizations. So striking partnerships with others so that kids can express themselves better is something that probably schools will have to do, because I think otherwise it will be a huge responsibility if every teacher has to try and make every kid express themselves in a hybrid-like environment. I think the challenges are, insurmountable. So how will anybody be able to do it on their own? So that's what I would recommend. Partnerships is the way to go.
you.